similar to the word software that I usually use. So you guys, it might look a little different, but it has the same effect. It really does. This is known as Bible study, free, public domain, open source app. Um, Pretty much the short name for it is Bible study. Um, so right here, it has parallel view just like the other one does. All right, just like the word software does. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to actually do a three-way here. So what I'm gonna do here is get the Samaritan Pentateuch. We gotta change to the book here so we can actually have the Samaritan Pentateuch. So that'd be Deuteronomy 26, right? And then you have the LXX 2012 already there. And plus one. Now you're gonna have whoops, actually I did not want to do that. I actually wanted to see here. So Samaritan Pentateuch, let's try that. Oh no, whoops, my bad. I already have the Pentateuch there. Let's try the Unkelos as the third translation there. So now we should have three translations here. So we should have the Unkelos here. Then you have the Samaritan Pentateuch, and then I'll change. So I think for the main two, right now, I'm going to be having the Septuagint and the Samaritan Pentateuch side by side. On the right, and then we got the Samaritan Pentateuch, and then if we have to, we can go to the Unkelos after we read these chapters. So here we go. All right, let me just wonder why it's on Deuteronomy 3. I want it on 26. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Deuteronomy 26. And it shall be when you shall have entered into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you to inherit it, you shall inherit it, and you shall have lived upon it, that you take of the first of the fruits of your land, which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, and you shall put them into a basket, and you shall go to the place which Yahuwah your Elohim shall choose to have his name called there, i.e. the tabernacle, or later on in Solomon's day would be the temple in Jerusalem. Okay. And you shall come to the priest who shall be in those days, and you shall say to him, I testify this day to Yahuwah my Elohim that I am come into the land which Yahuwah swore to our fathers to give to us. And the priest shall take the basket of your hands and shall set it before the altar of Yahuwah your Elohim, and he shall answer and say before Yahuwah your Elohim, my father abandoned Syria and went down into Egypt. By the way, Syria would be Mesopotamia. Okay, it's the same region there. And went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a small number, and became there a mighty nation, a great multitude. And the Egyptians afflicted us and humbled us and imposed hard tasks on us. Notice how the humbling is being used in a way that has nothing to do with food, but it has to do with harsh labor. Okay. And imposed hard tasks on us, and we cried to Yahuwah our Elohim, and Yahuwah heard our voice and saw our humiliation and our labor and our affliction. Yahuwah brought us out of Egypt himself, and his great strength and his mighty hand and his high arm, and with great visions and with signs and with wonders. And he brought us into the place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now, behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land, which you gave me, O Yahuwah, land flowing with milk and honey. You shall leave it before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall worship before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall rejoice in all the tobe things which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you, and your family, and the Levite, and the stranger that is within you. And when you shall have completed all the tithings of your fruits in the third year, you shall give the second tenth to the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and widow, and they shall eat in your cities and be merry. And you shall say before Yahuwah your Elohim, I have fully collected the set apart things out of my house. I have given them to the Levite, the stranger, and the orphan, the widow, according to all the commands which you did command me. I did not transgress your command, and I did not forget it. And in my distress, I did not eat of them. I have not gathered of them for an unclean purpose. I have not given of them to the dead. Interesting. Could be alluding to sacrifices to the dead there. I have listened to the voice of Yahuwah, our Elohim. I have done as you have commanded me. Look down from your set apart house from heaven and Barak your people Yasher all, and the land which you have given them, as you did swear to our fathers, to give us a land flowing with milk and honey. On this day, Yahuwah your Elohim charged you to keep all the ordinances and right rulings, and you shall observe and do them with all your heart and with all your being. You have chosen Elohim this day to be your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to observe his ordinances and right rulings, and to listen to his voice. And Yahuwah has chosen you this day that you should be to him a peculiar people, as he has said, to keep his commands, and that you should be above all nations, as he has made you renowned and a boast and esteem, that you should be a set apart people to Yahuwah your Elohim, as he has spoken. Okay, so before we go to verse chapter 27, I just want to look at something from the Unkelos here. I'm kind of curious how verse 14 reads. Let me see here where it talks about. Yeah, I had a feeling there was going to be some expoundings here in the Unkelos. He spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You heard a voice of words. Oh, no, that's why. My bad. I hate how it does that. It should automatically be at chapter 26. I don't know why I had to do that. That was weird. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so it has not eaten of it in my morning, nor exchanged any of it for what is unclean, nor given it for the dead. I have been obedient to the word of Yahuwah, my Elohim. I've done according to all that you have commanded me. So I was just checking there to see if there was any oneness connection there. Sometimes there is with the Targum on Kalos. Instead of Yahuwah, we'll say the word of Yahuwah. So I was just curious there. Nothing else to really expound upon. So we're going to go to chapter 27 here. Go back to the Septuagint here. All right. By the way, if you're just wondering, I'm reading from a very modern Septuagint, it's the LXX 2012 translation, so it's very modern English. And Moshe and the elders of Yashur all commanded, saying, keep all these commands, all that I command you this day shall come to pass in the day when you shall cross over Jordan into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, that you shall set up for yourself great stones. Now, this is interesting. This is actually going to, after this chapter, I got some cross references about the mezuzah, because this is almost like the foreshadowing of the mezuzah here before they even get into the land. It says, you shall cross over Jordan into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you, that you shall set up for yourself great stones, and you shall plaster them with plaster, and you shall write on these stones. Does it say just the Shema? Says all the words of this law as soon as you have crossed the Jordan, when you are entered into the land which Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers gives you, a land flowing with milk and honey, according as Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers said to you. And it shall be, as soon as you are gone over Jordan, you shall set up these stones which I command you this day on Mount Ebal, and you shall plaster them with plaster. You shall build there an altar to Yahuwah your Elohim, an altar of stones. You shall not lift up iron upon it, or of whole stone shall you build an altar to Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall. Basically, he doesn't want them to make an engraving altar. He doesn't trust them because, they got a lot of Egypt still in them. Yahuwah doesn't want them making the altar into an idol. So, and you shall offer upon it whole burnt offerings to Yahuwah your Elohim. You shall there offer a peace offering. You shall eat and be filled and rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall write upon the stones all this law very plainly. I like how the 2012 translation says plainly. Okay, and Masha and the priests, the Levites, spoke to all Yasharal, saying, "Be silent here, O Yasharal. This day you are to become a people to Yahuwah your Elohim. You shall listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim." I'm going to go to the Unkalos one after I read this chapter in verse 10 there. I want to see if it says the word of Yahuwah. But anyway, and shall do all his commands and his ordinances, as many as I command you this day. And Moshe charged the people on that day, saying, "These shall stand to Barak the people on Mount Gerizim, having gone over the Jordan: Simeon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. These shall stand for cursing on Mount Ebal: Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zabulon, Dan, and Naphtali. And the Levites shall answer and say to all Yasharal with a loud voice, "Cursed the man whoever shall make a graven or molten image, an abomination to Yahuwah, the work of the hands of the craftsman, shall put it in a secret place." And all the people shall answer and say, "So be it." So there's the context of the no graven images right there. Okay. It's obviously it's talking about a shrine. It's talking about not just making a statue, but making a statue to worship it or to idolize over it, to make it, to actually set it up in a shrine. Okay. Cursed is the man that dishonors his father or his mother, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is the man that removes his neighbor's landmarks, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that makes the blind to wander in the way, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is everyone that perverts the right ruling of the stranger, the orphan, the widow, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that lies with his father's wife, because he has uncovered his father's skirt. Now that's important to understand what seeing or uncovering your dad's nakedness means, what the biblical definition of that is, because when you start getting to the story of Ham and what Ham did, you got to keep that biblical definition rather than what we think seeing his nakedness means according to our Greco-Roman understanding, versus what the scriptures defines as seeing your father's nakedness or removing your father's nakedness. Okay, because he has uncovered his father's skirt, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that lies with any beast, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that lies with his sister by his father or his mother, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that lies with his daughter-in-law, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that lies with his wife's sister, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he that smites his brother secretly, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is he whoever shall have taken a bribe to kill an innocent man, and all the people shall say, "So be it." Cursed is every man that continues not in all the words of this law to do them, and all the people shall say, "So be it. By the way, Paul actually quotes from here in Romans when he talks about that. So cursed is everyone who does not continue in the law, in all the words of the law. Okay, so now we're at chapter 28. Actually, I want to just quickly look at one verse from 27 before we move on here in the Unkelos Targum. I want to see if it mentions, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so verse 10 shows a little bit of oneness here in 27 in the Unkelos Targum. It says, "And you shall hearken to the word of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to do his commands and his statutes, which I command you this day." It's interesting because in the New Testament, Yahushua says, "The doctrine I give you is not my own doctrine, it's my Father's." So I just find a cool oneness connection there, that it's not just the commands of Yahuwah, but the commands of the word of Yahuwah. So just find that interesting. All right. So, okay, so 28 here, all right? And chapter 28 of Deuteronomy. "And it shall come to pass, if you will indeed hear the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe and do all these commands, which I charge you this day, that Yahuwah your Elohim shall set you on high above all the nations of the earth, and all these barakas shall come upon you, shall find you. If you will indeed hear the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, Baruch shall you be in the city, Baruch shall you be in the field, Baruch shall the offspring of your body, and the fruits of your land, and the herds of your oxen, and the flocks of your sheep, Baruch be your barns and your stores. Now, the stores in context would be talking about storehouses, not what we think of as a store today. Baruch shall be in your coming in, and Baruch shall be in your going out. Yahuwah, deliver your enemies that withstand you. I don't like how the word will is not there, so that's a little weird the way it's worded. It should say, Yahuwah will deliver your enemies that withstand you, utterly broken before your face. They shall come out against you one way. They shall flee 7 ways from before you. Yahuwah send upon you his barak in your barns and on all on which you shall put your hand in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you. Yahuwah raise you up for himself a set apart people, as he swore to your fathers, if you will hear the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and all the nations of earth shall see you, that the name of Yahuwah is called upon you, and they shall stand in awe of you. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall multiply you for Tob in the offspring of your body, and the offspring of your cattle, and the fruits of your land, on your land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers to give to you. May Yahuwah open to you his Tob treasure, the heaven, to give rain to your land in season. May he barak all the works of your hands, so shall you lend to many nations, and you shall not borrow. So the lending to many nations and not borrowing is actually a baraka. It's not like if you don't do this, you're sinning. The context here is that because they're baruked by keeping his commands, they won't have to lend for many nations. They literally will be lending to them because they're going to be the head and not the tail. So just trying to explain that there. And you shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. Yahuwah your Elohim make you the head and not the tail, and you shall then be above, and you shall not be below. If you will listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, notice how it says this will happen if you will listen. So it's conditional. If you will listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim and all the things that I charge you this day to observe, you shall not turn aside from any of the commandments which I charge you this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after mighty ones, other mighty ones, to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if you will not listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim to observe all his commands, as many as I charge you this day, then all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed shall you be in the city, cursed shall you be in the field, cursed shall be your barns and your stones, cursed be the offspring of your body and the fruits of your land, the herds of your oxen, the flocks of your sheep. Cursed shall you be in your coming in, cursed shall you be in your going out. Yahuwah send upon you lack and famine and consumption of all things on which you shall put your hand, until he has utterly destroyed you, and until he shall have consumed you quickly because of your evil devices, because you have forsaken me. Yahuwah caused the pestilence to cleave to you until he shall have consumed you off the land into which you go to inherit. Yahuwah strike you with distress and fever and cold and inflammation and blighting and paleness, and they shall pursue you until they have destroyed you. And you shall have over your head a sky of brass, and the earth under you shall be iron. Yahuwah your Elohim make the rain of your land dust, and dust shall come down from heaven until it shall have destroyed you, and until it shall have quickly consumed you. Yahuwah give you up for slaughter before your enemies. You shall go out against them one way and flee from their face 7 ways, and you shall be a dispersion. I like how this Septuagint says dispersion in all the kingdoms of the earth, and we know that actually happened. Okay. And your dead men shall be food for the birds of the sky and to the beasts of earth, and there shall be none to scare them away. Yahuwah strike you with the botch of Egypt and the seat, and with the malignant scab and the itch, so that you cannot be made whole. Yahuwah strike you with insanity. Interesting. So madness and blindness and astonishment of mind. And you shall grope at midday as a blind man would grope in darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways. And then you shall be unrighteously treated and plundered continually, and there shall be no helper. That reminds me of Yahusha when he talks about, those that the light's with you a little while longer. When the light goes, you're going to be groping around. You're not going to know where to walk and all that. So that's interesting. You shall have taken a wife, and another man shall have her. You shall build a house, and you shall not dwell in it. You shall plant a vineyard and not gather the grapes of it. Your calf shall be slain before you. You shall not eat of it. Your donkey shall be violently taken away from you and shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies and shall have no helper. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another nation, and your eyes wasting away shall look for them. Your hands shall have no strength. A nation which you know not shall eat the produce of your land and all your labors, and you shall be injured and crushed always. And you shall be distracted because of the sight of your eyes, which you shall see. Yahuwah strike you with an evil sore on the knees and the legs, so that you shall not be able to be made whole from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. Yahuwah carry you away, and your princes whom you shall set over you, to a nation which neither you nor your fathers know. You shall there serve other mighty ones, wood and stone, and you shall be there for a wonder and a parable and a tale among all the nations to which Yahuwah your Elohim shall carry you away. You shall carry forth much seed into the field. You shall bring in little, because the locust shall devour it. You shall plant a vineyard and dress it, and shall not drink the wine, neither shall you delight yourself with it, because the worm shall devour it. You shall have olive trees in all of your borders, and you shall not anoint yourself with oil, because your olive shall utterly cast its fruit. You shall beget sons and daughters, and they shall not be yours, for they shall depart into captivity. All your trees and the fruits of your land shall the blight consume. The stranger that is within you shall get up very high, and you shall come down very low. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. See, so part of the curses is now no longer are they the head, now they're the tail. Now they have to lend from the Gentiles because they didn't obey Yahuwah. And all these curses shall come upon you and shall pursue you and shall overtake you until he shall have consumed you, until he shall have destroyed you, because you did not listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim to keep his commands and his ordinances, which he has commanded you. And these things shall be signs in you and wonders among your seed forever, because you did not serve Yahuwah your Elohim with gladness and tow heart, because of the abundance of all things. And you shall serve your enemies, which Yahuwah will send forth against you in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness, lack of all things. And you shall wear upon your neck a yoke of iron until he shall have destroyed you. Yahuwah shall bring upon you a nation from the extremity of the earth, like the swift flying of an eagle. Remember that the bird that it's mentioning right now, because that's going to come in handy after I read this chapter. I'll explain who I believe the nation is Yahuwah is actually talking about. And I believe this has already been fully fulfilled way before the Atlantic slave trade, in my opinion, way before that even happened. But anyway, whose voice you shall not understand, a nation bold in countenance, which shall not respect the person of the aged and shall not pity the young. And it shall eat up the young of your cattle, the fruits of your land, so as not to leave you grain, wine, oil, herds of your oxen, flocks of your sheep, until it shall have destroyed you and have utterly crushed you in your cities, until the high and strong walls be destroyed in which you trust in all your land. And it shall afflict you in your cities, which he has given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your body, the flesh of your sons and of your daughters. Okay, so why is it doing this? It's stupid thing. It went backwards. All right, what verse was I on? I'm on 57?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just get back down there. My stupid app acted up there. All right. And her offspring that comes between her feet. So now it's talking about one of the curses, that they're going to eat their own children. Mm-hmm. And the child which she shall bear, for she shall eat them because of the lack of all things, secretly in your straitness and in your affliction, with which your enemy shall afflict you in your cities. If you will not listen to do all the words of this law, which have been written in this book, to fear this esteemed and a splendored, this esteemed and wonderful name, Yahuwah your Elohim, then Yahuwah shall magnify your plagues and the plagues of your seed, great and wonderful plagues, and the dwelling evil and dwelling disease, and he shall bring upon you all the evil pain of Egypt, of which you were afraid, and they shall cleave to you. And Yahuwah shall bring upon you every sickness, every plague that is not written, and everyone that is written in the book of this law. So notice how the Septuagint, I don't know if it's different than the Masoretic, but the Septuagint says he will bring upon you every plague that is not written and everyone that is written in the book of this law until he shall have destroyed you. I notice people, when they try to debunk the book of Enoch, they say, well, if the plagues are not mentioned in the canon, then those plagues you're adding to scripture. No, Yahuwah is literally saying here, what does it say in this verse right here? It says plagues that are not written.
That's right.
Okay. So the canon doesn't mention every plague that Yahuwah has at his disposal. Right. Okay. Right. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. So until he has destroyed you, and you shall be left in number, whereas you were as the stars of the sky. Okay. We don't have time to get into all that, but Yahuwah is comparing them to his Malachim here, to his heavenly messengers. Okay. In multitude, because you did not listen to the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim. And it shall have come to pass that as Yahuwah rejoiced over you to do you tob and to multiply you, so Yahuwah will rejoice over you to destroy you, and you shall be quickly removed from the land into which you go to inherit it. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall scatter you among all the nations from one end of the earth to the other, and you shall there serve other mighty ones, wood and stone, which you have not known, nor your fathers. Moreover, among those nations he will give you quiet. He will not give you quiet, neither by any means shall the sole of your foot have rest. I can relate to this. This is just, you feel like there's no quiet, there's no what is the word I'm looking for, Mom? There's no me time, you're constantly bombarded by things. And it talks about you won't have rest by the sole of your foot. Yahuwah shall give you there another misgiving heart and failing eyes and a wasting soul. Your life shall be in suspense before your eyes, and you shall be afraid day by day and by night, and you shall have no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, I will it to be evening. I'm kind of like paraphrasing here because the way the British English is worded here, it's weird. If only it was evening, and in the evening you'll say, if only if it was morning. For the fear of your heart with which you shall fear, and for the sights of your eyes which you shall see. So basically everything, all the stuff that we see in our captivity, we just, when it's nighttime, we want it to be morning. When it's morning, we want it to be nighttime already. Like basically we're sick of this life, and and Yahuwah shall bring you back to Egypt in ships, by the way of which I said, you shall not see it again, and you shall be sold there to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and none shall buy you. Now, I find it interesting it says none shall buy you, because people that want to claim this is the Atlantic slave trade here, first of all, if you know the history of Black Friday would debunk that theory, because Black Friday originated like during the time of the Atlantic slave trade, and even later after. Black Friday is called Black Friday because they would actually sell black slaves and they would get bought. Okay.
And when you're in the black, so that means you're doing well financially.
When so they red. Basically what Black Friday originated as was the black slaves here in America would be sold. So right here in Deuteronomy 28, what does it say? None shall buy you. Okay, so that debunks that theory right there. Okay, number two, around this time period, the eagle was associated mainly with Babylon. And you can look this up archaeology-wise. America is not the first nation to have the eagle. I hate to burst your bubble, guys. That doesn't mean it's America, okay? So that's number two. That doesn't make it America, okay? Egypt was known as an eagle. Okay, Babylon was known as the eagle. If you go through every pagan nation throughout history, there probably half of these pagan nations had the same symbol. Okay, so the phoenix was the city of Tyre was known by the phoenix bird. Okay, if you know anything about the $1 bill, and Rob Skiba, our beloved brother, has passed away recently. He did research about this, I think, like 5 to 10 years ago. Manly P. Hall, the Freemason, said about the $1 bill, it's not a bald eagle, it's a phoenix. So that means that you can even say America stole that symbol from the city of Tyre or Phoenicia, okay? So that doesn't mean this prophecy is exclusive to America, okay? And the last point I want to make why I don't believe this has anything to do with the Atlantic slave trade, okay? It mentions going back to Egypt, okay? They went back to Egypt, if I'm not mistaken, multiple times towards the end of the Old Testament time period. Okay. One of the times you can even, do this research for yourself, but during the book of Ezekiel mentions that Yahuwah's people fled on their own to Egypt, physical Egypt. Okay. So the idea that America's spiritual Egypt is actually unscriptural. And I just want to show this because I know a lot of people teach this, especially in the Black Hebrew Israelite camps. They want to teach this concept that America is spiritual Egypt. Okay, first of all, idea that America's spiritual Egypt is actually unscriptural. And I just want to show this because I know a lot of people teach this, especially in the Black Hebrew Israelite camps. All right, hold on a second. My shared screen is going nuts right now. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't want, so hold on. As I was saying, so if you go to where there's actually a verse in Revelations that tells you what spiritual Egypt is, and it is not America. It says, where our master was impaled or crucified. So John defines for you what spiritual Egypt is. Okay. And this verse is known in Revelations as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. They define Jerusalem as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay. So that means by default, this country cannot be spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay. I'm just going to read this for you real quick, guys, just to prove a point here. Okay, so this is, by the way, this is no preconceived bias of any translation. This is a standard King James. This is how it reads. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street. So this is talking about the two witnesses here. It says their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was impaled. Where was he impaled? Jerusalem. Okay. It's calling Jerusalem spiritual Egypt. So that's the point I'm trying to make there. That you cannot attribute Egypt in Deuteronomy 28 as America. It's impossible to do that. Okay. Last point I want to make, and why I believe this, a lot of this has already been fulfilled. If you go to Daniel chapter 9, okay, just real quick. All right, and go to his prayer, right? Okay, if you go to about, let's see here, start at verse 7 here. To you, O Yahuwah, belongs righteousness, to us confusion of face. So Daniel's talking about now Deuteronomy 28 curses we just read about, okay? As at this day is the men of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, to all Yashar, all, to them that are near and to them that are far off in all the earth. So he's talking about the dispersion, the diaspora, okay? Wherever you have scattered them for the sin which we have committed. In you, O Yahuwah, is our righteousness, and to us belongs confusion of face, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our fathers, for as much as we have sinned. To you, O Yahuwah, our Elohim, belongs compassion, forgiveness, whereas we have departed from you. Neither have we heeded the voice of Yahuwah, our Elohim, to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by the hands of his servants, the prophets. Okay, so, and let me see if I want to see where it talks about the curses here, because I know it talks about it. He even says, these curses have come upon us. All right, these curses have come upon us. Let's see. All right, Daniel 9. I don't know why they make it so hard to find this. All right, here we go. All right, so it looks like Daniel 11 to 15. Okay, so we're going to continue reading here. Moreover, all Yasharel has transgressed your law and have refused to heed your voice. So the curse has come upon who? Us, his generation. Okay. And the oath that is written in the law of Masha, the servant of Elohim, because we have sinned against him. And he has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us, against our right rulers who rightly ruled us, by bringing upon us great evils, such as have not happened under the whole heaven, according to what has happened in Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Masha, all these evils have come upon who? Us, meaning his generation. It's already been fulfilled. Yet we have not sought after Yahuwah, our Elohim, that we might turn away from our lawlessnesses and have understanding in all your truth. Yahuwah also has watched and brought these evils upon us. For Yahuwah, our Elohim, is righteous in all in all his work which he has executed, but we have not heeded his voice. And now, O Yahuwah, our Elohim, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and made to yourself a name, as it is this day, we have sinned, we have transgressed. So just wanted to read those verses to prove a point I was trying to make. I believe it already happened in Daniel's day. Daniel 9 completely shows that it's fully fulfilled as far as the curses thing and the scattering and all that's already happened. So anyway, I just wanted to make a point of that. So we're going to go back here to the app here, and we're going to read 29 now, Deuteronomy. Okay. If my stupid app would start working, that would be great. And yep, go ahead, brother Joshua. My bad. I didn't even realize you had your hand up. Sorry about that.
No worries. I had a couple questions, but I'll save most of them for when we're done. However, just regarding what we just talked about, there's not a possibility that because those are curses that are associated with breaking his Torah, that there's multiple fulfillments for that?
Yeah, I believe there's multiple fulfillments for that, but I don't believe it's referring to the Atlantic slave trade. I still stand by that opinion. I don't think that has anything to do with it. And I think those that promote that are promoting a bias without any physical evidence of the fact that was referring to going back to Egypt. There's been multiple times, like I said, you'll see in the Tanakh time period, they went back to Egypt. So like, that's why I'm saying the majority of chapter 28 has been fully fulfilled, the majority of it. Yeah, there's still curses and all that, but as far as going back to Egypt, as far as an eagle, a nation that's represented as an eagle, taking them to a land, a language, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're being honest with history, that's already happened. And I mean, people can study it out for themselves. I mean, it's right there in the Tanakh. So it's, but you do bring up a good point. I'm not saying that we can not still be cursed by breaking the Torah. I don't want people making assumptions by what I'm saying here, because I'm not saying that there isn't some type of spiritual implication to these curses and that we can't be cursed. What I'm trying to say, though, is 80% of that prophecy that's mentioned is pretty much been fully fulfilled at this point. And
so as far as there still being curses, that leaves me kind of confused. Just because of Deuteronomy 27:26, and then Galatians 3:10, but the 27:26. Hold on. Let me switch my Bible back. Come on. 27:26. Cursed is he who does not establish the words of this Torah, or that's cursed is every man who shall not adhere to all the words of this Torah and to do them. and all the people shall say, so be it. And then you said it, Paul also mentions that in Galatians 3:10. The way he mentions it, though, is therefore those who are of faith are grouped with believing Abraham, for as many as are of the works of the Torah are under the curse, for it is written, cursed is everyone who does not continue in all the things which are written in the book of the Torah to do them. Obviously, we know that that doesn't mean that you still don't do them, but that we're saved only through faith, not by doing them. But is that saying that those curses, because we're not justified by the keeping of the Torah, that those curses don't apply when we fall short? Or
no, what he's trying to say is if someone thinks they can be justified by their own works and they mess up in one matter, which by the way James also talks about in his own book as a second witness to this interpretation. But what Paul is saying is don't trust in your own outer works of the Torah for your salvation, because if you do and you fail in one matter, you're cursed. Mm-hmm. That's what he's saying. He's saying there's no way you can be justified by your own work of the Torah instead of Messiah's sacrifice, because you mess up in one aspect, you're already cursed just from that one little transgression. That's what he's saying. So it's not that Paul's trying to contradict Deuteronomy 27. I've seen people that have completely rejected Paul in the New Testament altogether. They try to say that. That's not the correct context. They're actually
saying that he was contradicting it. I just wasn't understanding
I know. I'm not saying you are, bro. I'm saying other people. I'm saying other people that have ultimately rejected Paul in the New Testament want to use strong man arguments like this. And Paul's not saying, he's not going against what Deuteronomy 27 saying, but what he's just making a point to these people that are falling from mercy. And he's saying, listen, you mess up, for you to depend on keeping the law for your salvation, you have to be able to keep every single commandment in that law so that you're not cursed. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to make a point to the Galatians. He's like, you need Messiah. You can't do the whole law without failing, is what he's, if that makes any sense. That's what he's trying to make a point of. So that's how I would interpret it, that would reconcile the two accounts there. But yeah, that was a very good question. That was a really, really good question, because I used to get stumped by that too, to be honest. I'd be like, what the heck is he going against what Deuteronomy 27 is saying, or is he trying to say that, so yeah, so that was a really good question. But so I think we're going to go now to Deuteronomy 29. And so let's see here. If my stupid app will work, man, this shared screen has been screwing up lately. I don't know if the internet's getting a little slow now or what's going on, but it's acting a little weird. Let me try something here. Yeah, that app is acting strange. Okay. All right, let me try doing the shared screen again. All right, so Brother Dennis, welcome. We're on Deuteronomy 29, if you want to follow along. So I'm about to start.
I've also got Sue and River with me.
Oh, hey, shalom. All right. Shalom. All right, so Deuteronomy 29.
You have to leave, though, unfortunately, because our service is starting.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys stopped by for a little bit.
And I'll come back.
Okay. We'll be here.
Okay. I'll see you later.
See you later. Shalom. All right, so Deuteronomy 29. All right, so I don't know. Wow, the parallel option here is really acting weird here. Okay, I don't need 3 versions of the Septuagint here. Okay, hold on. Acting weird. This is acting weird. Okay, here we go. To just put the Pentateuch on the 3rd option. I'll have a 3-way parallel here. Samaritan Pentateuch, and then let's see, Targum on Kalos. Okay. There we go. All right. So, all right, here we go. Deuteronomy 29. And Moshe called unto. Okay, what is going on here? All right. Wow, this is really weird. Let's see here. Okay. These are the words of the covenant which Yahuwah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yashar'al in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. Moshe called all the sons of Yashar'al and said to them, You have seen all the things that Yahuwah did in the land of Egypt before you, to Pharaoh and his servants, all his land, and the great temptations which your eyes have seen, the signs and those great wonders. Yet Yahuwah Elohim has not given you a heart to know and eyes to see and ears to hear until this day. And he led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments did not grow old. Your sandals were not worn away of your feet. You did not eat bread. You did not drink wine or strong drink, that you might know that I am Yahuwah your Elohim. And you came as far as the place, and there came from Sihon, king of Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, to meet us in war. We struck them and took their land, and I gave it for inheritance to Reuben and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh. And you shall take heed to do all the words of this covenant, that you may understand all the things that you shall do. You all stand today before Yahuwah your Elohim, the heads of your tribes and your elders and your right rulers and your officers, every man of Yashar'al, your wives and your children, and the stranger who is in the midst of your camp, from your hewer of wood even to the drawer of water, that you should enter into the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim and into his oaths, as many as Yahuwah your Elohim appoints you this day, that he may appoint you to himself for a people, and he shall be your Elohim, as he said to you, and as he swore to your fathers Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And I do not appoint to you alone this covenant, this oath, but to those also who are here with you today before Yahuwah your Elohim, and to those who are not here with you today. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, how we came through in the midst of the nations through whom you came, and you saw their abominations in the idols, the wood and stone, silver and gold, which are among them, lest there be among you man, woman, or family or tribe, who has heart turned aside from Yahuwah your Elohim, having gone to serve the mighty ones of these nations, lest there be in you a root spring up with gall or bitterness. Interesting, since Yahusha's one that had to drink the gall there. It's interesting. And it shall be, if one shall hear the words of this curse and shall flatter himself in his heart, saying, Let Tob happen to me, for I will walk in the error of my heart, lest the sinner destroy the guiltless with him. Alua shall by no means be willing to pardon him, but then the wrath of Yahuwah and his jealousy shall flame out against that man, and all the curses of this covenant shall attach themselves to him, which are written in the book, and Yahuwah shall blot out his name from under heaven. Yahuwah shall separate that man for evil of all the children of Yashar'al, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in the book of this law. And another generation shall say, even your sons who shall rise up after you, and the stranger who shall come from a land afar off and shall see. Okay, I hate it when it does this. All right. Why? I don't know why it did that. Hold on a second, guys. This stupid app is acting retarded. I don't know what's going on here. Come on. All right, Mom, you got your version here with you?
Yeah.
Let me just get it, because for some stupid reason.
Right here by the word calamities.
Calamity. What verse is that actually?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so we're gonna guess this land that he brought all the curses.
Second column there.
Yeah, and the answer will be is because. Hold on. All right, I'll start back at verse 22. Your children who follow you in later generations, foreigners who come from distant lands, will see the calamities that have fallen on the land and the diseases with which Yahuwah has afflicted it. The whole land will be a burning waste of salt and sulfur. nothing planted, nothing sprouting, no vegetation growing on it. It will be like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zobim, which Yahuwah overthrew in fierce anger. All the nations will ask, why has Yahuwah done this to this land? Why this fierce burning anger? And the answer will be, it is because the people abandoned the covenant of Yahuwah, the Elohim of their fathers, the covenant he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. They went off and worshipped other mighty ones and bowed down to them, mighty ones they did not know, mighty ones he had not given them. Therefore, Yahuwah's anger burned against this land, so that he brought on it all the curses written in this book. In fierce anger and in great wrath, Yahuwah uprooted them from their land and thrust them into another land as it is now. The secret things belong to Yahuwah Elohim, but the things revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may follow all the words of this law. And that's, in my opinion, the most important verse of that chapter. If you didn't get anything else from that chapter, is that focus on his commands. Don't be worried about every secret matter that may be not mentioned in the scriptures we have today. Focus on what he has given us. His instructions are what are appointed to be revealed to us. So I think, to me, that's the most important thing of that chapter. Other than obviously to take heed, to obey him, to so that you are not cursed, obviously. But that last verse is my favorite verse of that chapter. So anyway, so I think we're going to be switching gears next. My mom will be starting the prophets portion for us. She will be reading Isaiah 66, and then I think I'm going to have someone split Second Chronicles with her. So
Sure.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back very shortly. I just got to do a short intermission. Shalom.